Hello and welcome to today's episode of Piano TV. I am going to sit down. I have my phone in front of me. I have my tea beside me with my fancy, famous Game of Thrones mug. It's not a famous mug. I just really like it. And I am going to answer some Instagram questions. So that must have been about 2 months ago when I told you guys that I was... Well, I actually just randomly on a whim decided to post on my Instagram stories. If you have any musical questions, I will answer them. So I did the same thing this morning. I was curious to see, and it looks like we already have quite a bit of questions. So I'm not sure that I'll get to answer them all, and I'm not sure if all of them are going to be music related, but I just thought it would be fun to just kind of rapid fire out some questions, some cues. So let's get started. First question, what do you think about Chopin's 4 sonatas? I'm not super familiar with them. I've listened through them like once or twice, but they're way beyond what I could ever play, so I haven't like listened to them in total earnest. Jane agrees over on the sidelines that they are, they're pretty cool. Like, I think they're interesting. But I don't have like a strong opinion on them. How's the 30 days of piano group going? If you were to do it again, what would you keep and or change? It's going really well. We're down to like the last 3 days of September here, so it's been like quite the roller coaster. I feel like us as a group, like we've become a pretty tight-knit group, and there's been lots of good feedback. People are sharing some brave people are sharing the music that they've been practicing and stuff. So if I were to change anything, I might do, like if I do something like this in the future, I might do a different format as opposed to like the 30-day format, which I think is really cool for this. I just don't think that's like a template that I would use for future courses. I think I would change up the format a little bit. But I'm not really sure like what else. I think I might have been a little over ambitious with some of the things that we included, so I might like scale it back a little bit or simplify some things too. That might be another thing I change. Do classical vocalists need to take piano lessons in order to learn how to read music? I don't think you need to. I think it would be like a nice to do. Most vocalists I know have like a rudimentary understanding of, I shouldn't even say rudimentary, like most vocalists I know can play piano at like at least a grade 6 level. I'm talking about like the vocal teachers that I worked with. So I guess for them it would have made more sense to also learn piano because they were teaching. But if you were just like a hobbyist, I mean it couldn't hurt. So might as well. How soon are you going to be teaching piano to your cute baby? Yeah, I'm just looking over there because she's standing over there. I don't know, Jane. How soon are we going to learn music? She's already practicing piano in the sense that she's like aggressively mashing the keys. But probably like around 3. I've taught 3-year-olds before, and I feel like that's where they're starting to understand little things like the alphabet and stuff. More advanced 3-year-olds anyway. So probably not before then because we'll do like other music things. But it's hard to say. Like I don't want to like squash her love of music by being too aggressive with it. But at the same time, like I want to get in there with some music education, just like we want to get in there early with language development and like learning how to read and write and things like that. It's the same with music. I don't want to leave it too long. Chopin or Mozart? Wow, that's like apples to oranges. Chopin's an apple, Mozart is an orange. Chopin. Although Mozart was kind of like the original rocks. Well, no. Bach was probably the original rocks. I don't know. Chopin is my gut instinct because I just like jive with his moodiness. How do you keep yourself motivated when learning a difficult piano piece? Usually I hit a point when I'm learning a difficult piano piece like when I'm 50 or 60% of the way to like, I don't know, whatever perfection is. I'm like halfway through the learning process and then I kind of hit a wall. Yeah, tell me about it. But yeah, I hit this wall about halfway through, and it's because I don't have to spend so much energy like actually learning the piece anymore, and it's just getting to the point where it's not on autopilot and there's still lots to do, but it's like a lot of like the big mental hurdles have been tackled. So it's not like I get bored when I play, but there's not enough like immediate stimulation. So what I usually do is learn another piece alongside it so that I have like something else. So if I'm learning a really difficult piece, I'll surround it with some easier pieces too. And that kind of helps me get through, I don't know, so it doesn't like get really monotonous, especially because difficult pieces can take a really long time and you don't want to, I don't know, I think it's really boring to spend a couple months just on one piece, even though I've done that before. Is there any other instrument that you have wanted to learn so badly but couldn't? And what attracted you to the piano? I don't really think there's another instrument that I've been really passionate about. Piano, I just kind of fell into because my family has always played piano. So it's not like as a kid, I just saw pianos around and would play them. It's not like I was like, oh, this is the best of all instruments. I'm pretty passionate about vocals and singing too, but I do that. So I'm not like cut out from that. Something that I've tried and I wish I was better at, maybe one day I'll pick up, is the cello, but it is very difficult. Favorite albums. Ooh, this is a good one. Actually, my husband and I have a vlog channel where I have posted like 5 videos or something. There's not very many videos over there. It's Allysia Vlogs if you want to check it out. My husband and I actually sat down and we did we basically just talked through our top 10 favorite albums of all time. So if you want to know what my favorite albums are, go check out that vlog. This one got cut off, so I might have to guess a little bit with the answer. Learning on my own using adult piano adventures books. Some lessons are frustrating and harder. Yes, that's where the question cuts off. I feel like there was going to be more to that. Yes. Yes, some are harder than the others. And I actually like that about the piano adventures books, because you have like easy, 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 ooh, that's a little bit of a jump. Easy, easy, ooh, another little bit of a jump. To kind of like push you out of your comfort zone. So don't get fixated on mastering pieces, and don't lose momentum with those ones. Don't feel like when you get to a difficult piece, you have to kind of just like stop for a month before you can move forward. Just something to keep in mind. Why don't you play some piano and upload on Instagram rather than just food? Because I make food every day and I do not practice piano every day when I have a baby. And it would probably get boring because it'd be like, I don't know. Right now I'm working on a very limited repertoire, so you get sick of the same things over and over again. Maybe one day when I have like, an hour, when I'm like in exam mode again, I will get in exam mode again, but not anytime soon. I don't have access to a piano teacher. How can I set, plan and prioritize the things I need to learn? I might actually just refer you to some videos for this, because this is a really good question and it's a really big question. I believe I have some videos that will link here. Goal setting time. It's a part 1 and part 2. And that's like, if you want to sit down and kind of plan out the year, this is how I would do it. And that's what I did with my students pretty much like in August, I would sit down and plan out the year for all of my students, and we'd kind of pick some key pieces or key things that we're working on. So check out those videos if you want some like specific goal advice, and that'll be way more in depth than I'm able to get to in this video. Tips to prep for a recital. I'll give you one tip. Play, and you've probably heard this one before, but play in front of as many people as you can. Just like, even if it's just like, sometimes even playing in front of my husband is enough to like get my nerves going, get the adrenaline pumping, and you play a little different. And then what that'll show you when you play in front of people is where your weaknesses are. I might think that like, ooh, I just played so masterfully when I was by myself. And then I play in front of someone and like, maybe the middle section falls apart, and then it alerts me to the fact that I'm not as comfortable with that middle section as I thought I was. So when preparing for a recital, try playing in front of people in like a staggered way. So maybe one week you play in front of someone, then you work on whatever was like, ooh, you don't hear the sirens very often in my small town. Maybe you spend a week integrating one thing that kind of fell apart when you played for someone, and then you play for someone else, and then you spend the next week practicing whatever fell apart when you played for them, and you kind of do that a few times, and I find that to be really helpful because it just teaches you how to cope with nerves in the moment. Favorite romantic composer? I feel pretty strongly towards Liszt, because I just think he could have been such a stereotype, and yet he wasn't. His music's really awesome too, but I just think he's a really interesting person. He was this like super glamorous celebrity, but at the same time he had this like kind of quiet spiritual side, and he was also like known to be like really friendly and generous, and he just sounded like a really well-rounded person. He had a lot of obstacles in life, he experienced a lot of death, and he just like, I don't know, he just seemed like someone I would love to, that wasn't your question, like who I would love to just sit down and have a coffee with, but Liszt would be up there. And that's gonna be my answer for favorite composer. How does it feel to be an inspiration to others? A little embarrassing. I'm getting embarrassed. You really inspire me, and I'm working towards ABRSM grade 2. That's awesome. That's always been my goal as like a piano teacher. Is I feel like in some ways I'm more of a cheerleader than like a teacher. But in all seriousness, my goal with teaching people has always been to keep them interested in piano. And that's more important than so many other things. Some people I feel are really rigid and really strict as teachers, and that's fine because different people do well with different schools of teaching. But I've never, like, I feel like with adult students especially, you're there because you're passionate about piano. And as a teacher, my goal is to kind of just like guide you in your passion, but like try to keep that passion alive. So I feel like my role is more like trying to be inspiring. I don't know. I'm like I said, this is a little bit embarrassing to answer, but yeah, like I try to think of it longevity. If I push people too hard, then they might just quit after a year. So it's kind of all about like what is going to keep them coming back day after day, year after year, and think of it like more long-term like that. And a lot of the stuff that I feel like other teachers can be really strict on are things that like can be worked on in the future. Like, I don't feel like we need to be so rigid with like having all the things super perfect right away, because that can be really overwhelming for people who are getting reacquainted with the piano. And those things can come at like a more intermediate and advanced level. So anyway, am I blushing? Who is your inspiration? This is the same person. Who is your inspiration and why? I don't know. I'm inspired by a ton of people, so this is a really hard one for me. Like right off the top of my head, who could I even tell you right off the top of my head? Okay, well, I listen to a lot of audiobooks, and I am often inspired by whatever audiobook I'm listening to. So if you're curious, I'm listening to Arnold Schwarzenegger's autobiography. What is it called? Total Recall. So I'm currently being inspired by Arnold Schwarzenegger because I've been listening to him every day. I really like, there's some bloggers that have been really influential for me throughout my 20s. So like Steve Pavlina, Pat Flynn. I listen to those guys and like read their stuff a lot. That's kind of more on like a business, personal development side. In a music capacity, oh, that's hard. Who am I musically inspired by?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
Changes by the day.
Yeah, I just made my husband answer for me. Hopefully you heard some of that. That's a hard question. I could probably come up with a list of like 50 people if I sat down with it for an hour. And again, there's like way too many questions for me to get through them all, but feel free, like we will do this again because it is kind of fun to rapid fire questions like this spontaneously too. What age did you start to learn piano? I started at age 6. And will you teach your kid how to play piano? I'm not sure. We're going to have to kind of play that one by ear. I think I will teach her how to play piano, as long as it's not like a really tumultuous thing. Sometimes it works better to send your kid to someone else, and they listen better. So we'll just have to like play it by ear and see how our relationship is. But I am planning on it. This question's funny. Have you ever tried to play The Art of Fugue by Bach? I'll probably never get there. No, I really haven't. Okay, so the last question I'm going to do today is, what is your favorite Beethoven piece? I really like his sonatas, like solo piano, and I really like the first 3, actually, like his really early Haydn-influenced sonatas. I quite like Haydn sonatas as well, but I find Beethoven's to be a little bit more like a little more melodically interesting. I think his third sonata, they're all in the same opus, I believe. And I can't remember. The first one's F minor. I can't remember what the third one is. But anyway, those early sonatas are really, really great. And the third one just has like a lot of charm, and it's really fun and playful, and it's just like not the side of Beethoven we tend to see. I really like that one. And I'm gonna wrap up that video. That was a lot of questions. I wasn't counting, but it felt like we had a good amount. Feels like this is turning into a long video, so I'm not gonna spend the rest of this time talking. I hope you enjoyed it. Happy October, and I will catch you guys in the next video.